So, a very good morning to everybody, and thank you for joining us today in Waking Up to Win with DocFox. Now, today I've done something slightly different. Instead of reaching out to DocFox directly, I've actually reached out to our one and only individual that absolutely loves DocFox. In fact, she is actually going for her second tattoo with the little DocFox on the back of her left shoulder. So joining me on this call today is Mareka from our admin's transactional team. Mareka, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. And you, Stuart, thank you for having me on today. I do absolutely love DocFox, but I will not be getting another tattoo.
Well, we'll see about that. I'm sure that that'll get you over one of those heavy drinking evenings. Anything happens, we'll leave it at that. Well, today we're going to be talking about DocFox, and we've got a number of agents that get a little bit confused. What is DocFox? Why should we be using it? And that's really what we're going to cover today. We want to go through that fundamental basic. So, Mareka, straight out of the gate, what is DocFox? Give us an idea of what is DocFox.
Okay, so to understand what DocFox is, we also have to understand why we've implemented DocFox and how it helps us. So basically, DocFox is the FICA system or the company that we've partnered up with to do our FICA processing. Why do we need a company to assist us with our FICA processing? So the FICT Act requires from us as accountable institutions, so every agent within EXP as well as EXP as a company, we're all accountable institutions and they require certain things from us. We need to, obviously know our client, and we do that by getting all their documents together. We get that by doing a risk rating on them to identify their risk appetite and what it means to EXP and to our agents. It also requires us to do a watch list search. So the FIC has watch lists for sanctions, court orders, etc. And we need to search that database to make sure our clients aren't on there. And if they are, why they're on there and what that means to us, as well as a media search. That's also part of getting to know our clients. And just looking for any articles or any court cases that have anything financial link to it that might have an impact on us in the future. Um, and yeah, that's basically what we need to do according to FIC. Now, how DocFox helps us to do that, you can imagine if you just getting the documents from your clients, that already takes a lot of time, and understanding their risk rating, that takes time as well. And you can imagine if you have to do media searches all over Google and all kinds of other lists and the FIC watch list, that's going to take you hours and hours. So we've implemented DocFox to assist with that, where we basically submit an application per client. We can upload their documents. It is verified by a person at DocFox, and it is double checked by our transaction team. It does the watch list and the media searches for us just to check the overview. And then it allows you to do the risk rating. So it automatically scores the answers to your risk rating to say whether they are low, medium, or high risk. So you don't still have to go sit as if you're a teacher and mark the questionnaires that they fill in to check where they lie on the risk scale. So that is basically what DocFox is and why we use it at EXP.
Fantastic. And one of the big things that a lot of people actually forget about is as much as we're in real estate and we're in sales, we actually also part of the financial sector in a very indirect way. And what I mean by that is, well, we're getting in these offer to purchases, we're handing them over to the banks to get the bonds approved, or we're actually getting the details to get that cash through to the attorneys. And that actually leads up to something which can happen. And I've had it when I was in my agency prior, is money laundering. And that's one of the big reasons around FICA is FICA actually is preventing money laundering and all of these criminal activities. Now, something that you may or may not know, most people think, oh, but this is only in South Africa. No, this is global, by the way. When we're doing FICA in different countries, they call it a different name or a different acronym. However, worldwide, and this is something that everybody, all the different countries, they're actually putting this control to actually cut out that money laundering. You see, money laundering is something that happens every single day. And the easiest place to actually launder money is through real estate. So we have been brought into the actual financial sector, as I said, indirectly, and that is why FICA is so important. Now, if we allow these transactions to go through, ultimately it means that we are supporting criminal activities. And that's something that we don't really want, because that leads to high levels of crime and really makes it a country that is non-investable. Now, there are some penalties that come out. And this is something that I really want to share with you, because if you do not FICA one of your clients, and it happens to go through the processes whereby it becomes something of a criminal activity, you could be liable up to and over R1 million in fine in your personal capacity, with potentially jail sentence. So this is something that is taken extremely serious. So that is why we have invested and gone through DocFox to assist us. Now, Marika, DocFox, is this something that is costing agents an additional subscription, or is this actually included in their monthly cloud fee?
This is all included, so not a single cent extra to be paid by the agents. We cover the subscriptions for each and every agent that join us, and we cover the cost of every application and screening that gets done. So no cost to the agents. They just need to reach out to get login details. They get set up, and we cover everything else, or the cost at least.
So that's basically for free. Don't we just love that word, for free? It just really comes off the top of the tongue when we start going through all of that. Now, you actually make mention of something that's quite interesting. Agent comes on board and they say, right, now we want to start getting our fee and we want to start using DocFox. Where do they begin? How do they actually get their login details? So take us through this journey of getting those details, and then you're more than welcome to share your screen if you want, to show them where they can actually become more familiar. So where do they go?
Sure. So, step one, once you've signed up with EXP, you've joined, you've received all your onboarding information, etc. If you have any questions, you can reach out to anyone in the team if you're unsure who to reach out to. Or if someone in your downline joins and they're unsure, they can reach out, and that person will direct them in my direction or in Narai's direction. We will basically log a ticket with DocFox, because on the back end in our system with DocFox, they need to onboard you as an agent. It sounds more daunting than it is. They just need to feed in your email address, your contact number, your name and surname, whether you are an inviter or an officer, and who you'll fall under. So once that is done, they email you a link that you can click on. It will direct you to a similar to a page to what I'll share now. Um, which will just ask you a bit more information that you'll fill in to activate your account. So this is what your ultimate sign-in page will look like once you have activated your account and you're ready to go. You'll obviously enter your login details. And the nice thing about DocFox is they really take your security, your client security to heart. So they actually implement a one-time PIN, and every time you log in, it will send a one-time PIN to your cell phone number on an SMS that you enter to log in. If you get stuck and for some reason you do not receive your one time PIN, we know there are some network issues around the country sometimes. They have the send OTP again option, which will actually change the service provider that they send the one time PIN from, to push it through to your cell phone for logging in. Would you like me to log in, Stuart, and show them what the system looks
Fantastic.
like? Okay.
Yes, definitely. So take us through this particular process. So they've now
Sure.
got it in. They're actually going through. So I'm pretty sure that you've got your one-time PIN. Now they're going to log in. So give us an overview of what that looks like, and take us just through the basics and overview of DocFox. So they've got an individual that they just need to FICA. Where do they
Okay.
go?
Sure, I will log us in. I'm just going to ask upfront when, before we share the recording, if we can just blur out my dashboard, because there will be some clients that show on there that we obviously don't want to share the information with on recordings outside of the session.
Absolutely. So I will blur all that out before I actually upload everything.
Thank you so much. I just want everyone to be aware. So if you do go on the recording and you see things are blurred out, it's just personal information that we've blurred out. It's not the quality of the video, um, or your laptop that's acting up. Okay, so I've entered my one-time PIN. and I've logged in. So this is what the dashboard will look like. You will see the clients that you have loaded last at the bottom, and you have an individual that you want to load. So where to next? You'll click on add customer. I'll show you two features. We've actually recently added a new feature that we haven't done much training on, but I'll share both. So if you have an individual that you would like to load, they are a South African citizen. So you will scroll down between all the entity types. You'll choose the most relevant, which in this case would be a South African citizen. Just want to touch on related party South African citizen so there's no confusion. The related party South African citizen is if you load members of a CC, directors of a company, trustees of a trust, etc. You'll use the related party because it asks for slightly less information, and the risk rating questions are different because the company, trust, or other entity that's the main client will have the other relevant questions. So we want to load a South African citizen. We'll choose that option. And we will start to fill out the details. I'll just use myself as an example. I do not know my income tax number, so I'm putting in that number. Let's go E02 Tesamen Farm. It's actually auto-populated. Okay, one thing I want to touch on just when you fill in the address, you'll see I started typing E02 Tesamen Farm, and it will actually just go on the road address. And I'm specifically using this address as an example because that E02 Tesamen Farm falls away. You can move this down. It kind of does like a Google search, and Google does not know where this farm or the unit on the farm is. So we just have to help it out by moving the area down and by filling in the missing information. This will also happen if you have a complex, a unit in a complex that you have to load, farms like this, office parks, etc. If you get stuck, just fill in the information that it does populate. If you struggle to add the missing information, when you let your transaction specialist know to check out the client, just tell them that the address you're not 100% sure of, and we'll check it out and we'll help you with that. Okay. So, business relationship type, with a lot of individuals, it will be a single activity. They either buy or sell through you once. There are some individuals that have multiple properties that you may work with, or especially when it comes to developers or companies with multiple properties that you're going to sell or rent out, or they do business through you regularly to rent properties. You'll choose ongoing relationship. It just alerts us not to maybe archive this. Particular entity so that the checks can keep running in the background and you can then keep using this profile once. It's not necessary to upload the same client 100 times. You upload them once, we feature them properly, and in a year's time, you'll just update the things like proof of addresses that we need updated dates on, or things that may have changed. If they moved offices, we'll update the address for that reason. Okay, reason for transaction. It's very straightforward. You'll either put in purchase of a property, sale of a property, renting of a property. Source of wealth is important, especially for buyers and tenants. We want to know, do they earn a salary? Are they applying for a bond, etc.? So you know where the money is coming from that they are entering this deal with. And that is very important to know. That is part of the list of things that FIC actually requires from us. Occupation. So in my case, I'll put transaction analyst or transaction specialist. You'll put in the occupation of your client so that they can also be ranked kind of on low, medium, high kind of rank. It all plays a part in the risk rating at the end of the day. And then we will enter so you'll enter the contact information. So I've already actually created a profile for myself. So you'll click on create profile at the bottom, and I just want to show you what it looks like if you leave one of the fields blank. It'll say saving. You'll get a not saved little thing, and it will actually highlight the areas that you still need to fill in. So my ID number has already been added because I've been loaded, then you'll know, hold on, let's go check if I either loaded the client on my own profile, or you can alert your transaction specialist. We'll go load, because it might be that another agent has done a deal with this person and we can reuse that profile just by updating the relevant information. Okay, so once all the fields have been fixed and you click on create profile, I'll go back to the dashboard to search for my name. And here we are. So you click on view to open it from the dashboard, and you'll see the profile. This is what will populate. This page will populate once you have created the profile. You'll see all the information that's been filled in. You can click on the little pencil next to each of the categories to update information if that's necessary. Then we'll look at the modules on the left-hand side. So at the moment, we're working on forms, like the FICA forms that you would have used in the past for your clients to fill in, to understand what they need to, so you can understand their risk rating and how to answer their risk rating questionnaire. Those forms we'll take out the basic information like name, surname, everything that we already filled in on the profile. And there's a way that the client would be able to fill in this form for you. I'll also touch on that when I show you the other way of onboarding a client. It'll give you the identity tab. So it'll give you an option to upload the proof of income tax registration. So for individuals, we only need the number. We don't necessarily need the document, and that is why it's optional. For companies, the SARS documents will be compulsory. It gives you a spot to upload the green barcoded SAID. I will show you. I don't really want to update this. I'll show you in a moment what it looks like. Let's actually show you with proof of income tax. So in this case, you'll see I uploaded my green barcoded ID. It was accepted on the 3rd of November. It has my ID number. This information that I've highlighted now is the information that the DocFox person that checks the document, they read the document, they write down what they see. So the information at the top is the profile information that you as the agent has typed in, and you obviously write down what you see. So if that differs, you'll get an orange banner at the top warning you that the information is not a match. Then there's also a third step that DocFox does for us, and they actually do a third-party data source search. It will search against the Home Affairs database to ensure that we have the correct person, that this person is actually who they say they are. It will check the ID number, date of birth, name, and surname. So, in a case where you might have someone that put in an offer to purchase now, before it even registers, they get married, they go to Home Affairs, they change the surname, it might pop up that the surname is different from what we have on the ID document. We obviously understand that it takes time to get a new ID. And in that case, where there's a mismatch, you can give a linking document like a marriage certificate to show that something happened in the meantime to change that person's surname with Home Affairs, but they do not have the actual document that they need from Home Affairs yet. You'll have the address tab where you can upload the address. You can see we've got some warnings on my profile. So it says, first of all, the profile does not match. Why? The profile compared to the payslip does not match. And the payslip compared to Home Affairs does not match. Again, they do a third-party data source. This is not only Home Affairs, but also pulls from the credit bureaus, I believe. So in this case, it pulled from the credit bureaus that I actually live at 8 Villacello 25 Torquay, which I just haven't applied for any credit and updated my information since I lived there. So they still have my old information, but the information that I gave to the agent that loaded me and the information on my payslip, that is the same. Why does it say that my profile does not match with my payslip? You'll see this address that I entered is a lot shorter than the address that appears on my payslip. So just because it's not an exact match, it'll give you a warning. It won't just kick out the document. And if we as the transaction team can see that these are actually the same addresses, just in a different format, we'll still accept the document. Okay. Under additional, if you want to upload any additional documents, if they've maybe completed a hard copy of a FICA form, or you want to submit the antenuptial contract or anything like that, that there's not a thing for on the system, then you can upload it on here. The watch list, I'll show you on our guide just now what a watch list hit would look like. and a media search is what they do. So this takes a few seconds to actually pull through. And then, of course, the risk rating. These are questions that you need to answer. For the client, I go more in depth with them on our Friday training session, so you're welcome to join there, but they're very easy to answer. I'll click on update so you can see what it looks like. But it's basically drop down questions. So, country of birth or citizenship, country of residence, main business industry. We need to know what industry this person works in. Um, Industries, for instance, like public and state owned entities, will automatically make it a high risk. It's not to say we're not going to do business with the client, but that is something to highlight to compliance. They may ask for additional compliance documents, which we will request. And if all is clear, we carry on with the transaction as normal. These are just things to highlight so we know if there's something to look a little bit deeper into. Just because it's a high risk client does not mean that we cannot do business with them. And then bank details we don't really use. Once everything's complete, you'll see my little approve button in the top right has actually disappeared because I took away the risk rating that was there, but it will allow you to, or it will allow your officer to approve it, which is us in the transaction team. You can actually approve the document. So if there was still an approve button here that you can press to make sure it was accepted, you can press that button if you're happy with the document you uploaded, but just know that the transaction team will still look into it. So that's what the profile looks like. Those are the tabs where you would upload something. The other option that we've added to actually make it a little bit easier for you to onboard clients, and I just want you to use your discretion here. This button won't be for everyone, but it will be for a lot of your clients. If you see this is a client, he's excited about the deal, he's tech savvy, he's ready to go, he can actually assist you by onboarding himself. If you have someone that needs further assistance, please get the documents from them and use the add customer button, as not all clients will be able to use the link, and that might frustrate you and the client. So just use your discretion on who to use this for, but this is a very handy option. So you'll click on invite customer. You'll say it is, let's say it's a South African citizen you want to upload. It will tell you that it's going to require it's going to ask them for 3 documents to upload: proof of identity, proof of address, and proof of income tax registration, which will still be optional on their end. You will fill in their details, and then you can actually edit the body of the email. One amazing thing about this is your client will not receive an email saying DocFox requires information from you. This is completely whitelisted to EXP. So it will actually it will show your name. So it'll actually pull in your name at the bottom. In my case, it'll pull in Marika Wilkinson. So it will actually be branded EXP, and you can change up the body. Please discuss with your client before you send them links. We all are aware that we don't just click on any links that we receive, and you can tell them, as discussed on our call, please use the link below to begin your onboarding process with us. If you have any questions, please reply to this email directly. One thing I also want to suggest, if you know you're about to go see a client and you already have their name, surname, and contact details, what you can do is email this link to yourself. I know it worked the first time I sent it. I can't send it with my details now. It'll block me again because I've already onboarded myself. But you can send the link to yourself, and then if you have your emails on your phone, you can actually go to the link from your phone, sit with them, answer the profile questions it asks to do the onboarding, and upload the documents that they may have hard copies of right there and then. So then you're all onboarded. It will create the profile. It will look like the one I showed you earlier, where you can edit things if it's not 100% complete. Maybe they uploaded the ID, but they rather emailed you the proof of address. You can finalize the thing, the profile, enter the risk rating, and it's ready to go. So that's the new feature that we added, and the forms feature will also be built into this once ready. All right.
Fantastic. Fantastic, Marika. Thank you so much for going through that, because it's a nice overview of the actual process. So as a quick little recap, so when you're getting into actual DocFox, one, our transactional specialists, they will be able to get you in through the back end, which is getting that ticket and getting that email through to you, which you then log into the profile. Once you're getting into the actual profile, you can actually have 2 options. Either you can actually complete the details yourself, Or if you've got that tech savvy client, that one that really likes to do everything themselves, these are the type A, the high Ds that we refer to. They can actually click on that and you can send them that invite, but just give them that little heads up before you send them that random email from yourself. And then they can actually fill in those documents and go through that process. In the back end, our transactional team, whenever a ticket comes through or a new profile is created, they are there to overview, to accept and approve and go through that process. So you don't have to always think that you're alone. You've always got our transactional specialists there to help you. So, Marika, I'm pretty sure that you go a lot more deeper into the trainings. And I know that our transactional team every Friday have got a session that goes a little bit deeper. Just give me a quick overview of what those sessions look like and what time they happen.
Sure. So, yes, we are very excited that we actually started our DocFox sessions. We started about 2 weeks ago with individuals. Last Friday, we covered companies. This week, we'll be covering trusts. All you agents, if you have any FICA questions, if you get stuck on a profile, if you just need some assistance, someone to hold your hand, and you haven't been able to reach out to us yet, you're welcome to join those sessions. Bring your questions. We basically focus on loading a certain type of entity. We'll cover the information that you need, how to do it in detail, not as fast as I did it now. I do it a lot slower with more information. And we encourage you to stop us, ask questions. We answer questions at the end, and that is every single Friday at 9 a.m. And then we've created these guides to assist. If you're one of those agents, I'm sometimes like that. I prefer to actually look at a document and read through and then follow the steps rather than watching a video. So our Friday sessions are also recorded if you prefer that option. But we've created these guides for our three main entity types that we use, which is individual, trust, and company. The individual also covers the related party side. So you can get these from us. If you haven't received them yet, you're welcome just to pop an email and we can send these off to you. So it covers on the first page the basic steps of loading, all the information that you'll need to complete to be able to create the profile. And it actually shows you screenshots of each and every page, and it gives you tips on where to go, little arrows to show you where to go. So we have training available Fridays. We are available via the transactions email address. You'll have our fuse numbers, our 087 numbers. You're welcome to contact us. Um, can I ask if you have a DocFox specific question? Maybe just pop in the subject line of the email DocFox question and just lay out your query. You can send me a message on Workplace Chat. You can give me a call if you just have a quick question, and we're definitely here to help you. We don't want to let you feel alone. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. This is information that you have to get, but we're here to assist you to use the system to its full potential and to take the risk and the weight off you a little bit. I know I was a bit afraid when I opened DocFox for the first time. It was a little bit overwhelming because it's a system that you don't know. So I completely understand that feeling. But once you get into it and you get excited about the system, you'll sleep better at night knowing that your FICA is complete and done correctly.
No, fantastic, fantastic. And also, just to share on that, we've also included all the recordings and a training session with these particular documents in Launchpad. That is the Agent Path program. Step number one, the induction program, where you can actually go through, you'll see a FICA, simple FICA training, and then it goes straight into a DocFox for individuals and a DocFox for companies. So you can actually watch those particular recordings. They're short, they're sweet, they're to the point, but definitely join into Marika and the transactional team every Friday at 9 a.m., where you can get that little bit deeper into DocFox. Open up with those questions and find out a little bit more to help you in your particular business. Now, before we close up on the session, I want to find out if you've got any questions right now. While we've got Marika in the actual call at the moment, you can either pop it into the actual chat box or alternatively, pop up that hand. Give me your microphone. Shout it out. Do you have any questions? So anybody on the call, if you've got any comments, any questions, pop it into the chat box. I've always got it open. Or alternatively, turn on your microphone and say hello. You know how we love the song from Adele. Hello. And we can carry on all we want. No questions. Fantastic. It is always great to have you on these particular sessions. And again, I want to thank Marika for coming onto this particular session to actually share her expertise. There we go, Belinda. Hand has popped up. Go for it. Turn on your microphone and sing us that beautiful song. Or were you just throwing us what we refer to as a hardcore high five? Go for it, Belinda.
Hi, Marika, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Belinda. You can go ahead.
Okay. You mentioned, I just want to be clear. You know what? My biggest concern with this is often we have clients that are not capable of onboarding themselves. So a lot of this onboarding is going to be done by us, the agents. Okay. So often we're in places, positions where there isn't at that particular time network or whatever. The area that I work is, you know what, it's in the Eastern Cape, it's a little bit rurally, it's, so that's where my concern is, where I've got to have and ask these questions and get this information and upload it while I'm with the client. How? If you can maybe just go back, you mentioned something a little bit earlier on about that. If you can just go back and just go over that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, so
Thank
I had the two options. So either adding the customer yourself, and you can do that while you are with the client by sending yourself the invite link. But what I would suggest, if you are working in an area that does not have great connectivity, that can always be tough. So basically, I would have the information on hand, and it might even be better in that case to still do your normal FICA questionnaire, so you've got all the information that you need that covers the first part of creating a profile. And then if they have hard copies of their proof of address, they'll have their ID. Take photos of it on the spot, and when you get back to your house or to your office, then log in, use the add customer, and then you already have the photos ready if they're going to struggle to email it to you. Otherwise, you can email it to they can email it to you, you can email it to yourself, but that whole connectivity issue might just slow things down. So I think taking photos of the actual documents and getting them to fill in the information for you by hand, then you can feed it into the system when you have a moment.
Okay, I understand that. So
Okay.
that's pretty much the same as we have been doing with Rep,
Yes.
except we're not loading that stuff onto Rep. We would be physically loading that stuff ourselves onto DocFox.
Yes, 100%. So the reason why we don't just load it onto Rep anymore is with all the things that FIC actually requires from us, like the watch list searches, media searches, risk ratings, etc. Rep doesn't have that functionality. And in the past, the transaction specialist would check the documents, just check it by eye, where now it actually gets verified and we follow all the necessary steps that we need to do. So you'll still go onto Rep for your offer to purchase property condition report, mandates, and the sale documents. The FICA you don't have to upload on Rep. We don't expect you to do double work at all. You load it onto DocFox. You'll alert your transaction specialist to check it out. Once approved, we can actually download the approved summaries for you and just add it to the transaction on Rep.
Thank you. That makes
Okay.
it clearer for me.
Okay.
Is there a questionnaire? And sorry, I'm a little in the dark with regards to DocFox. Is there a questionnaire that we can take with us to our clients so that we know what to? I understand now we're asking additional things like, are you South African? Where do you work, etc. Is there a questionnaire?
Okay, so I know the basic FICA form that's already on the Agent Center covers all the questions, but it will be good. The electronic forms that we are working on, we might as well do those in a hard copy or in a form that you can actually print out as well. So that's something that I'll note down and we'll work on just to make sure that all the questions that might not, I'll check the FICA form, but as far as I know, everything is covered on there, but anything extra, we'll just make sure that it is there.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
you're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Anyone
Oh,
else?
fantastic. Go for it, Renzi. You've got your hand up.
Yes, morning. Sorry to, I don't know how to address this, but when we onboarded me from home, when I go into my FICA, it doesn't show me as Renzi Kudijk at EXP. it just shows me on one of my other email addresses is rkudak1@gmail.com. Does that make any difference?
I will have a look into that, Rency. It might be that it was on the onboarding form right at the beginning. We had lists and lists and lists of agents to push through, but I can check with them because ideally we obviously want to use your EXP South Africa email
Yes,
addresses for
that's right.
everyone
Yes.
across the board. Okay, Rency, I will look into that for you. Let me
Okay,
add
thank
it
you
to
so
the
much.
list of the forms
Because
right
I
away.
hopefully will be doing what's name onboarding soon. Sorry, I have to take this. I
No
have to
problem.
go. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Renzi. It's always great to hear you on our calls. So, any other questions from anybody? It's always great to have these questions. Remember, I always say, you've got to have that curiosity in your business for you to actually take those steps going forward, because without asking those questions, you're always going to have what we refer to as a limiting belief. I can't do it, don't know how to do it. Well, it's questions that help you to take it over. So any final thoughts, any comments from anybody before we get to the last rounding and closing up of this particular session? Nothing more coming into the actual chat box. I'm having a quick squiz through there. Marika, thank you. She's put into the actual chat box the email address, which is transactions with an S at expsouthafrica.co.za if you've got any questions. Marika, I want to thank you so much for coming on to this particular session and sharing your love for DocFox. Any final comments from yourself?
Last thing, I just put our transactions email in the chat, as you said, as well as my 087 number. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. When you send an email to the transactions email address, so we're still the same team behind it, you can address it to the person that used to help you, or if you have a DocFox specific question and you're not sure, should you be asking Nariza, Jan, Zani, Taryn, or myself, you can either just say, hi, I have a DocFox question, or you can direct it at me. And I will know to pick that up. I will also then check who you usually work with in transactions and just let them know that you have a question, maybe CC them in so we're all on the same page.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Marika. And again, this has been an awesome session because it really has given us that next level for FICA. And as I mentioned earlier, FICA is extremely important, not only for you, but for your clients as well. We want to make sure that we cut out the crime and we have those successful transactions that goes forward. So from myself, Stuart, I actually want to thank all of you for coming on. I always have my final words, which is the future of your real estate. It starts right now. You have a fantastic and productive week ahead.